This is the 9th year for this event, and years back, Kim Swan, who worked for South Fork Water Board back then, and she was the coordinator of their conservation program for Oregon City and Westland. She, along with a lot of the other agencies that deal with water in some form or another, and education in this part of the county and in Clackamas County, formed this group called the Clackamas Water Education Team, or the CWET team. And they put this event together for the school kids and their teachers. Originally, in fact, it was open to the public, and it was a 2-day event. And then as things kind of moved along, it was not so much public participation, but definitely the teachers and the students. So I took over being the chair of this committee 5 years ago. I'm working with this group of agencies in the county, and we've just continued on with this event, this water festival for the teachers. It's 4th and 5th grade, and it's for all 4th and 5th graders in the whole of Clackamas County are welcome to come. When you walk around the exhibit hall or you go to the assembly programs, it's education about water on all forms. It's education about water in the environment. It's about the watershed. It's about the living fish and animals and creatures that live within water. It's about public water, our drinking water, the way we treat it, the way we, where are we getting it from and how do we get it to you? And then the other side of that, it's about what happens to our water after we've used it. Where does it go? We treat it again, we put it back in the river. So there's that whole education, and I think that, and I'd like to say maybe a lot for us here in the Pacific Northwest, because water is in such an abundance here. We really don't think about it that much.
Starting to get clear. Exactly. So that's what clear drinking water is. You see the difference between the two? We got all that stuff out of it. From there we pump it to a storage facility, whether it's a tank or an in-ground reservoir. From there it goes to your house, to buildings.
Well, most people don't realize the treatment process for the drinking water part of it. All they know is they turn the tap on and clean water comes out. Most people don't know how it gets to that point, or what happens after it goes down the drain.
Right.
A lot of the process of that at the sewage treatment plant too is cleaning it up so we can get it back into the river, and then it's reused again. Well, here, it's not so much here in the Northwest, but other places like the Midwest or back east, it's reused several times. Here, the process starts at Mount Hood, mostly from snow melt, and it runs down the rivers, down the Clackamas River, and here locally we pump the water out of the Clackamas River. We pump it into the water treatment plants where it gets purified, treated with chlorine, and then it gets distributed to the local citizens. From that point they use it, whether it be for industrial or domestic supply. There it goes to the treatment plant, sewage treatment plant, where it's again treated, disinfected, and then dechlorinated and put back into the river again for fish use and waterways.
So I'm Daniel Bedell. We're here representing the Oregon Stonefly Search, which is a great way to get students interactively involved with bioassessment. So basically we've got a bunch of live specimens that I collected from Clear Creek, and the kids are coming up with these little bio-tweezers, picking out stoneflies and mayflies, cranefly larvae, and I'm helping them identify them, and so they can learn more about what kind of taxa are present around here in the Pacific Northwest. Stoneflies are of particular interest because they're really good indicators of ecosystem health, watershed health in freshwater streams. They're really intolerant to pollution, temperature pollution, and sedimentation, so if you find a lot of stoneflies, it's generally a good indicator that the stream is doing well. So our project is basically just trying to get an inventory of stonefly presence in Oregon watersheds. So students are encouraged to go out and take photos of stoneflies that they catch by themselves and to send it to me or to my coworker Patrick, and then we're going to make a map of where all the stoneflies are in Oregon. Stonefly Search.
There are a whole bunch of organizations and agencies in Clackamas County that are doing water-related education. Instead of us all competing with one another, let's join forces. Let's figure out how we can bring everybody together and cooperate and share resources and come up with a consistent message. Across the nation, we are dealing with unprecedented environmental degradation. And so getting, not only just getting the word out to kids, allowing them to increase their knowledge and understanding about how the natural world works. Even more important than that is helping kids to have an outdoor experience, to get connected with the natural world in a more meaningful way. It really is like a puzzle. When we look at a watershed, you have the natural environment, but then you also have the human-built environment. And oftentimes we separate the two, but in reality, those two are working together. And so the diversity of organizations and agencies that we have here today really represent all of the parts that come together to try to protect our watershed.
Hi, I'm Steve Berliner. I'm a board member of the North Clackamas Urban Watersheds Council, and we are interested in watershed health throughout the North Clackamas area, from Happy Valley to the Willamette River at Milwaukee, and then all the way down to the Clackamas River along the Willamette riverfront. And what we're doing here, this is our third year at the Celebrating Water for the county fifth graders, and every year we've been giving away plants that they can grow in their yards to slow down the water runoff and improve the water quality and produce a little clean air and oxygen. And so we teach the kids a little bit about the plants, why they use native plants preferred, and how they're good for wildlife and good for clean water and air quality. And we have all of these plants donated to us by local area nurseries, and we're sponsored by Water Environment Services in Clackamas County. And so it's just a joy to be here and teach the kids about plants and surface water runoff and groundwater retention, preventing erosion, and improving wildlife habitat.
I can be recycled, I can be reused. I don't want to sing the landfill blues. If I stay here, they'll come and take me away. They'll take me to the landfill, that's where I'll stay. It'll take 100 years for a can to decompose. That whole time I'll be feeling so low, and I'll be singing, I could have been reused. I don't want to sing the landfill blues. Yeah. Ooh, that's so bad, it's good.
I'm Tana Kistler. I work at Spring Mountain Elementary School. I'm a 5th grade teacher.
And how long have you been teaching?
38 years, and actually this is my last year. The water celebration, I've been going to it for about 10 years, so it's relatively new. It changes periodically from location to location, and also who comes to the water show, the water festival, and how large it's gotten. And today, for example, what I noticed that was really great and different is that there were high school students that were instructing the kids and teaching them about the environment, and that was something new. We hadn't, and I noticed that the kids were really responding to the high school students because they didn't really see the age difference as much. They were able to speak with them and ask them questions, I think a little easier than before, so that was great. There's always been a lot of different experiences here. One of them that I like is what's going on right now in the other room, and that's the Rock and Road Show. That group, the kids really relate to music, obviously, at this age, at 10 and 11, and they love hearing, they play these songs with these messages, and it's funny, it's like one of those mnemonic devices. They leave singing these songs about, and they're not really, till they really think about it, they're talking about reducing, reusing, recycling, and there's a message to all these songs, and so they love that. There used to be a giant bubble that they would get in. You know, they like the hands-on stuff, and they'd put this bubble around their head. I think just recently in there, the bugs that they were taking out of the water and identifying larvae, and that was very appealing to a lot of the kids I noticed in there, and they took away real plants that they could grow, and that was neat. You see, in the classroom, I can teach them from a book or show them pictures of different things in the environment, but when they come out here, a lot of kids, first of all, being on this college campus is a big deal to the kids, and they sort of take that back with them. Wow, I was there, I can take my education further. That's one of the side benefits of being at this water festival. Another thing is they come back with their little goodie bag full of items they've picked up, and maybe today they just took them because they were available and they didn't really absorb all the information in them. But when we get back to the classroom, we kind of do a show and tell. Well, what did you get and what do you remember? We do a little writing piece afterwards, like the 3 highlights of the water festival this year, and do a little group sharing and build upon that. And then we're going to take it even further because I do a spin-off on global water awareness now, like the crisis in the world about the water. This is kind of like our jumping off point. Well, boy, here in Oregon, we have this precious resource, and we've got to conserve it and take care of it. But around the world, some people aren't so lucky. They don't even have any water to begin with. And how do we equalize that?